Live art in neon with strange music behind it. So this is a preview screening for Live Art TV, and the pieces are only partially finished. Some of them are a little more finished, and but we're going to show what we have, and we'd love to have your reactions to it. So what are we going to show first?
Well, what do you want to show first? Want to show the piece about Guy Anderson?
So the first piece we're going to show is on Guy Anderson. And he lives up in the corner, and he couldn't come down this evening. He's in the moment he's packing a show for the Hirshhorn, I believe. So he's really busy with that. And the piece is almost finished, not quite. So let's show it.
Okay. Is it cute? Is it in the deck? Where is it? It's not cute.
Well, I don't know really. There's no way of me. I don't know why I have lived as long as I've lived. I've been in lots of close calls. About at the moment, I'm 87 years old.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sister. My mother lived to be 96.
Mm-hmm.
I have a sister who's 93 at the moment, a very good violinist.
That's wonderful.
And then another one just finished a little novel at the age of 90. Which is very successful. I'll show you the little novel.
Oh, that's great.
And she's always been a writer. So I think I have just been very, very lucky, mostly because of my parents. See, they're kindly people.
And they were very supportive of your
Anything
exploring
I wanted to
and
do.
anything you wanted to do.
And when I became a Christian Scientist for an hour, for a whole year, they just thought that's kind of silly.
Right.
But they didn't think of saying, well, try some other church.
So do you work every day, or do you just work as the spirit moves you, or how does it go?
Well, I think about things, and on things like this, I come up and work a little while every day, and then I get the mirror out and see what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And usually I get something done,
right.
You know, whether it's drawing. Like downstairs now I have a little one on the piano there that I like very much. As concerning, I tore up some brown paper bags that I had, and I made a kind of collage. And I love to do that anyway. I love collages.
Mm-hmm.
And so it turned out to be something else. Oh, I depend completely on my own judgment.
Right, that's what
I have people
would have
look
guessed.
at them later, but I don't ever listen really to what they say.
Right.
But see, once again, there is the male nude again.
Uh-huh.
And regardless of how much people go around, and we're all born naked and all of that, but it has nothing to do with what a finished product is and what you have to do with the public.
Mm-hmm.
And when we get some of those people around who are so anti-nude, and there's one who I think is a senator. Do you remember him?
Jesse Helms.
Yes.
Yes. Well, Mr. Helms is...
He's a prick from way back.
Right, yes.
And he's terrible, really. Around the corner here, I think there are more things. I got a little bit of I don't fall down on all this stuff.
Mhm.
Right here in this bunch of stuff.
Mhm.
This is when you know if you can really draw or not. You're drawing with an ink and you can't change it.
Mhm. Mhm.
So this is the real test of if you really, and as we go through these, you'll see that I try to find every possible position. Just for my own ability to see if I really know how to draw, I would hire these, and you see there's not a single repeat, I think, of position.
Mhm. So these are all in the last couple of years, I see. 1989, 1990, they're all relatively recent.
If you're going to study the human figure,
Right,
you simply have to have models,
right.
because art is full, over the years, full of people who have never worked really from real people. Books and books and books and books of it. Is this boring?
Not at all. Not at all. No.
Well, I'm kind of pleased because I haven't been through this
Mm-hmm.
for years. Now this is where you get, these become more difficult as you get bigger.
Mhm.
So that, to get that all fit into the,
Yes.
to the areas, you either can do it or you can't. You stand for hours like that. And that's the kind of a model you like.
Yes. Yeah. Do you frequently work
You
with...
can't do very much just by memory.
Right, right.
That's for the cartoonist.
Shall we go sit in the garden?
Yes.
Okay.
Let us go. What of that poem? Let us go then, you and I, when the evening is spread out against the sky, like a patient etherized upon a table. Let us go to half-deserted spots, cheap half-night hotels, and restaurants with oyster shells.
Mm.
It's called Journey of the Trilobite.
Uh-huh.
And I have a real
trilobite.
I've been working on a big one over there,
Mm-hmm.
and the trilobite is way down in the corner. But I sprayed that once or twice, but I noticed that when it rains, I have more work to do on that. I have more work to do. This is a Sisyphus here, and I have more work to do on that.
Oh, so these are paintings that you're continuing to work on out here?
Well, it's nice working out of doors.
Of course.
Though they, as you see, they deteriorate. For a little while, I got tired of painting, and because I was teaching too long. I don't like to spend my life thinking about what's wrong.
Right.
Pretty soon, you know, you don't want to, for a while, when those things were happening, I didn't want to paint. I'd go sit in the garden and I'd just say, well, it's just not worth the effort.
Right. So it really interferes with your ability
But
to...
you get over that.
Yeah, yeah.
Just sitting in the garden a long time, you think of a lot of ideas and things like that, and eventually you get back into it. Some of these things in here, as I say to someone, there are 3 very good things in this room, and they don't have much to do with me, except I happen to buy them. And can you, as you look around here, can you see what are the best things in this room?
Oh, dear.
It has nothing to do with my work.
All right. I don't know. Let's
Just
see.
look along here on the
Mhm.
wall. Do you have any idea about the date of this one? It was found over on the Spanish Peninsula in Europe. The closest they can come to dating it is between 3000 BC and 2000. This is a Bodhisattva, 12th century,
It's a lovely piece.
and then the Buddha is also 12th century.
Right.
And I forgot what I paid for them, but I got them very, very reasonable
Mm-hmm.
because, and that I had to pay more for. I don't think in terms of value that way. I just think in terms of scarcity.
Did you ever doubt or worry about how you'd be able to make a living by being a painter?
No.
No? You always just trusted that it would work, that you'd have enough
Well,
work?
because I had a very kindly family,
Right.
and they weren't
Right.
bugging me, well, why don't you have a better job? Why aren't you
Right.
professor of this and that? Because they just knew that I wouldn't do it.
Yes.
I was the youngest
Yeah.
and spoiled. And I got away from the family.
Mhm.
I moved up here for 20 years. And that was, not that I dislike them, I like all of them, but you can't be around in your family and ever get anything done for yourself.
Mhm.
You simply got to get loose somewhere. I think I had a little stroke once, and the only thing I don't like about it, I don't mind the falling, because it doesn't last,
Mhm.
By the time you hit the ground, you are awake again. But I've had a couple of those. But the only thing is that there's nothing out there. They're black.
Do you think about dying very much?
No,
No?
I never think about it at all.
Yeah.
I just think everything's going on forever.
Right.
I know I'm slowing down. Of course, running up and downstairs and things don't help very much. But I still can do that. No, I know I have to slow down, but I still can rev it up a little bit if I have to. I suppose under an extreme difficulty, if I really had to run, I could really run, but I'm sure I'd fall down.
So how do you plan on going from one artist to the next? Because they're all pretty different.
That's
What's
what we're
going to be
shooting.
the connecting thing?
What's happening right now?
Oh,
He doesn't say a whole lot more about his work. I asked him.
You know, he made one comment as an artist I found really interesting. It just kind of slid through very quickly. He said he comes down and works every day and he gets his mirror out to see what he's done. Do you
Yeah.
know what he means by that?
Yeah.
What did he mean?
I think that I've actually heard other painters say that sometimes to get like a distance perspective on their work. I think that's what he meant.
It gives you a reversed image.
Right.
And I use it a lot because my stuff is tall and straight.
Mhm.
And you look at it so much, you get kind of a preconceived image. But if you take a mirror and stand back and look at it,
Mhm.
it gives you kind of a surprise image. And that way I can tell sometimes I've had a piece that's off center. And I never even noticed it before until I looked in the mirror. And I think that's what he means. You can.
I liked a lot that you got so many shots close up and it brought it into your own intimate. It seemed intimate.
Why don't we show the piece on Heleri?
Okay.
Good. Heleri, I had a very difficult time cutting together this piece, I'd have to say, because this woman does everything. She does dance, and she paints, and she writes, and she does poetry. And I didn't even touch on the fact that she's also covered probably the majority of the Northwest trails, I mean, because of your husband and because of your friend.
Well, you want to know how I started being an artist? You
Yes,
want to know
that
how
would
I
be great.
stopped? How I started?
Yes.
Well, my father was a Sunday painter, and when we were kids, he always we'd take a Sunday walk, and he would stop and paint, and we kids would play around. But we always wanted to play with his things, but he was very jealous of his paints and things. But when we got a little older, I at least started to paint also, and enjoyed it when I was a teenager. And all my life I've done a little bit of it, not a lot.
And what age were you when you started performing?
When I started performing, Oh, in my late 60s.
That's great.
Yeah, I think I was like 65,
Mhm.
something like that. You know, and the first things we did were just that one group. Everybody in it was at least, I think, almost 65, if not
Mhm.
over. So I just kept on.
Do you ever regret that you didn't start dancing earlier,
Oh yeah,
professionally?
it would have been fun. But I see, earlier I never would have made it because I don't have the right figure to be a dancer, and I'm not all that great either. It's only because I'm unique by reason of years that I get by with it. I was always a plump, short, not a ballet type at all.
Right, not the...
So,
the-
you know, it doesn't count against you when you're old. Now I'm working with Jeff Bickford, and we're going to have I told you on the phone, we're going to have a piece.
Yes, yes, you mentioned that
Out in the meadows by Discovery
and Discovery Park. And that begins rehearsal...
We had one rehearsal there. We had the first rehearsal at Broadway,
Right.
and the second rehearsal out there. See?
Oh, that's great.
Then I could balance all right. And we have to go about a quarter of a mile, and it's going to last an hour. But you see, I mean, from a physical point of view, it isn't all that hard. It's just a question of being in it with your head. I'm not very self-conscious. I used to be more. Well, you get old, you don't have to be. To paint my hair green, and I think most of the green's out of it right now. But every
Was that
2
for a
weeks.
performance, or because you thought the green would be a good idea, or both?
I can't remember why I started. I just had that idea. I wanted to have my hair green. I have another color that I use once in a while, but I like the green better.
What's your other color?
Oh, it's called tulip, and it's a sort of a pinky red.
Uh-huh.
But it isn't enough different for it to suit me. I wanted to have some color that no hair could possibly be, because I didn't want anyone to think I was just coloring my hair to make it look like a younger person.
I noticed there's paintings everywhere, and I know you paint as
Paintings
well.
everywhere, poetry everywhere. Poetry came later, only under protest. I'm a friend of a poet who formerly was the manager at the Spice Center, and she just urged me to get into that writing class. I'll show you the last thing I've done, which is a book about, some poetry about growing old. It's called Glass Handle with Care.
That sounds great.
And it's, what was the subtitle? A Mirror into Old Age. The thoughts expressed on the following pages are from recent journals and from the writing group I've been attending for 15 years, from Dreams. And one piece came from a residential dance workshop. This one was for my husband. He died in 1988. And You gave me dandelions. They took our loan by squatters' right. Round and rising in April, soft moons blowing away in June. You gave me lady slippers, bloodroot, milkweed, trillium. In the mountain meadows of Olympus, the wild ones rise, asked to be named, turn to face the sun. I chose them as I chose you, for joy.
How long have you been in the house?
42 years.
42 years.
And this is my last year. I'm going to move.
Oh, really?
in the fall. Yeah.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Just too hot, too much.
Too much to
involves
keep
too
up.
much energy and time, and I need to have roommates. And the one that hasn't worked out too
Right.
happily, the ones I've had up until now.
Right.
So I just think I just don't get enough companionship here.
Mhm.
I'm a very kind of sociable person. Get up here.
I think
Why
it's
do
great.
I do it? Well, because I'm a show-off, I guess. You know, nobody ever forgets me once they've seen me with my green hair. When I go for walks, I always take my stick with me. Go down the sidewalk like that. I am a willow, gnarled and senile, my roots exposed, moss hanging from my boughs. I stand supported by dry earth. Now it is spring. Around me, the leaves of past years. Here, where I have finished growing, I am a sole survivor. The river has changed its course. 100 years to the north, along its new bank, my seeds have sprung up, sons and daughters, vibrant, with their roots in water. Their leaves dance in the sun. As I dry rot with age, one day a storm comes up the stream, will flood this old riverbank, knock me over, and carry me away.
It's awfully hard to fit all of your life into a few minutes is what it amounts to.
10 minutes.
Impossible. But I hope at the most we can give like a little sense of what it's like. Let's see, why don't we show, do you want to show yours next?
Sure.
Good. So we have to change.
I'm not going to introduce it though. Well, okay.
Yeah, you are.
This is a piece about our upstairs neighbors, Nicolai and Bertha. They're in the back row. And it's cut together very quickly, and I don't know, I think I'm going to probably make some changes because I just remembered all these great things that I accidentally left out. But they live in their art, I think. They both paint extensively.
Hello.
Hi.
This is my friend Brooke.
Hi, Brooke. Hi.
How are you doing today?
Okay, how are you doing?
Can we come up?
Please come up.
Okay. Wow.
Oh my God. Holy cow.
Are you taking photos?
Yeah, the camera is on, but it's small, so it doesn't get in the way.
Come on here. Come on, Brooks.
Hi.
Brooke or
Brooks.
Brooks?
Brooke.
Brooke. No S.
Hi, nice to meet you.
So this is all your work?
This is
On the wall?
Nicolai's work and Bertha's work.
Wow.
And we tried to separate. This is mine and room, and that's Nicolai's. Although we still get some mixtures, you know.
Mm-hmm.
He sneaks some of his in, I sneak some of mine in his territory.
Do you ever paint together? Or never?
Don't
No.
say that
Oh,
word
why?
together.
No?
No, we're
Okay.
individuals.
Okay, well, yeah, but you never know.
Yeah,
okay?
yeah.
Have you ever collaborated on a painting?
No. Some people lose their way, you know. They'll do just about anything. When we lived in Paris, France, he was known as a
Neo-Cubist.
is the inventor of Neo-Cubism, and it's written in a big Italian book that we have there. This is the
So-
book that it says that Nicolai, but it's in French. Do you read it?
It's
No.
fine, but we can
can look at it.
anyway.
There's I should get my glasses on. That's Bertha, and that is Horne Kuvinoff, and that is Nicolai Kuvinoff.
What does it say about you?
I don't remember.
You don't remember what it says about you?
Fantasism, and I am known for that.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else paints like Bertha Horne Kuvinoff, it says. The squeaky door. This is where Nicolai paints.
This is Nicolai's studio.
This is strictly his. Nobody comes in here without knocking. It's wartime.
Mhm.
Hiroshima, Nagasaki, you're familiar. And he did many paintings of that era. Many. He was in the Air Force.
In the Air Force?
And he was a officer. What's their first ranking? He was next to a captain.
How long did you live in Paris? How many years?
We could only live there 5 years because Nicolai is a naturalized citizen. He was born in Russia.
Right.
So the rule of thumb at that time was that he could only stay 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
So he was naturalized in the United States?
Okay.
And so I said, oh, well, just forget about it and be a man without a country. He says, yeah, it's easy for you to say.
Yeah. So,
Nicolai's father was the Russian Orthodox priest.
mm-hmm.
And he built this church right down here
Right
on
down the street.
Yale Avenue.
My father was a priest.
Mm-hmm. Who built that church? St. Spiridon.
The father married us.
Oh,
So we were
Nicolai's
married
father?
by Nicolai's father
Yeah,
in that
paid
church.
In the church.
I'll take you into the studio, my studio, first before we go into some of my paintings are hanging in the bedroom and dining room. And this is where I paint, and this is where I live, and then this is where I work. My life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. That's
Part
my
of it.
style, fantasism.
Fantasism?
Yes.
Could you tell us something about this series?
That's all I do is fantasism.
And what is fantasism?
Got it right? It's fantasism is fantasism. Fantastic.
Fantastic.
I call it a premonition because at the time that I was doing this painting, Nicolai's brother was flying to the Orient, and their plane came down, and these are the bodies flying through the air, and I didn't know that there was even a lake near the mountain where the plane came down, and somebody said that there is and this is a ghostly captain.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, they were killed. And a true artist has to get whatever has in his heart and his, what he's about to do. He has to get it out of his system.
Have you gotten close to getting it out of your system, or it's still there?
No. Everything that I do turns into fantasism.
Do you have a favorite of your work?
They're all
favorite
favorites.
piece?
You know,
Do you have a favorite piece of Nicolai's?
they're all favorites. But when you have children, there are children.
Yeah.
You don't have favorite children.
No, you're right. You don't. Do you go to art shows very often?
We don't have time, Alan, if we're going to work.
That's true.
You can't just spend your life running around.
Well, it's a good lesson to somebody like me. Yeah, when was the last time you went on a vacation? That's my question.
Oh, on a vacation. Vacations are we don't consider anything vacation unless it's connected with our art. That's a vacation.
Do something, yeah.
It's your love. It's.
So you don't like going off to the beach or something like that?
Oh. That's for kids.
What do you think you'd be doing if you weren't an artist? If you didn't paint? Make
Probably a streetwalker. I picked that one out of my mind in a hurry. No, the thing of it is, I don't like to talk about what I've done in the past because that's unimportant.
Mm-hmm.
It's what I'm doing now and what I have been doing for the many, many years that I feel is very important. And Nicolai feels that way about his profession.
Have you had your 50th wedding anniversary yet?
Oh, yeah.
What are you on, 60 now? 55, 60?
We were in 1942, I think it was.
42, so 92, that was, your 50th was in 92. Did you have a big party?
Yeah. When we have a party, it's painting or sculpturing or...
Who did you invite to your party?
Bertha and Nicolai.
There's a million stories here.
A billion.
There's no end to it.
Okay.
Well, thank you.
I wish we could stay all night, but...
Thank you, too.
So this is your bug. Your pajama bug. It's lovely. You've got paintings. What have you got?
Cardboard.
We've taken good care of it.
I'll see you later. I'll see you around.
Something about the apartment where there's paintings in every square inch of wall space, and then there's paintings stacked up along the wall, leaning like 5 or 6 deep, and then there's little tiny coaster paintings, which I love.
Nicolai has a little... That's why I did all the talking, is because he has a speech
yeah.
problem. So,
I think I have goosebumps looking at the work.
I think I see something.
You get quite a sense of that domicile.
Because they are such colorful characters. I mean, their personalities are as colorful as the artwork. So it's as much fun, and there is many stories to just hear about them as there are about their artwork, which is what I love here.
Right. Well, I couldn't get you guys to talk too much about your artwork. I mean,
well, I think the artwork...
it speaks for itself.
Speaks for itself.
Now we're going to show the piece on Penny Mulligan.
This piece on Penny Mulligan is just a straightforward look at Penny and her thoughts on her work and her creative impulses, and it pretty much speaks for itself.
And this is just some pieces that I particularly liked, and they all tend to move, and people bump into them and apologize, but that's what they're supposed to do. This one makes a lot of noise over here when you hit it. People are always, oh gosh, sorry. And then I say, no, that's what it's supposed to do. This was another early bronze piece when I went back to school, and it was my daughter, kind of in motion. And I had a gilded mirror here that just didn't seem to go, and so one Saturday afternoon I said, I've got to change that, and I went down and I just kind of played with shapes and put it together in an afternoon, and I thought, I love rebar, I like working with steel. And then I collect other art because I just love art. But a lot of these pieces are mine, pieces that were in shows, and I decided to keep because I liked them. But they all have movement and make noise.
It's a bronze.
It's bronze.
Bronze and steel are
Me, I like working in steel very well, but the gallery seems to like bronze. And so I did a series of towers, steel towers over here. This was one of my first things. And then this was a piece that was in a couple of shows ago, and I liked it. But the towers are they're kind of like painted and textured. And a lot of stuff I find reflects what I'm seeing out the windows. And these became different sunsets and times of the day and night. Because I just can't avoid that input, you know, especially the movement of the trees and the leaves, I find is repeated.
It's always changing too. It's always
Yeah,
a different view
and
out there.
since we're bird watchers, I'm really interested and fascinated by the flocks of birds that I see, you know, swirling around and changing shapes. And one of my professors said, you know, you really think three-dimensionally. And I've been doing artwork off and on. I carved a door, and I did a series of weavings. I did spinning and dyeing and weaving, and I did painting, and everything had a three-dimensional quality to it. It was spilling off the two-dimension. You know, things were drooping and had a texture, and I realized, yeah, I like that sculptural quality. And I like working with my hands. I'm good at working with my hands, fortunately. So I started concentrating on sculpture, and this was 20 years ago. And I knew someday I was going to be a professional sculptor. And when I finally got my graduate degree, I went into a studio there were 5 women, and it was a James Fitzgerald studio. It's Sandra Bloomdahl has it now. Oh, we had a wonderful time, and we had it for 2 years. And then we decided to build this house, and my husband wanted me to have a studio at home. I built all the benches. This bench was made from an old sculpture that I had. I saved the wood and made a bench out of it. And the first thing I had to make was a hoist, and I designed the hoist to go out the garage door, and then I could get my piece of steel for the steel table, which weighs 500 pounds. And I realized, well, if I could do that, I could do almost anything. Because I was a little worried about whether I could, you know, work at home alone. Because before there's always been people around to help you lift things or move things. And I realized, well, I can be pretty self-sufficient. The first 3 months after I put my studio up, I'd done the studio, and I said, okay, now you're going to start your art. And I just came to an impasse. I couldn't move. It was summer months. I spent 3 months doing absolutely nothing, just kind of daydreaming and wandering around the house. And some friend asked me, well, what did your husband say? And I said, well, he never knew, because by the time he came home, I looked real busy, you know. But those 3 months turned out to be the most productive 3 months I've ever had, because at the end of them, I knew, okay, now I'm ready. And I started, and then I've never stopped. It's a real steady, constant, it's hard, but it's great. I mean, to be able to actually immerse yourself in this. But the beauty with it is I can draw on the metal. I can actually do a drawing. There's that point, and I'm working on a piece now, and everything is just going every which way, and things, and the shapes aren't exactly right here, and you think, oh, it's going to be another loss. And I hate to end the day like that, because then, you know, you're thinking all night, gee, what am I going to do to try and save this thing? And that's where the courage to keep going comes. And I found that if I just keep going, whether it's an increment at a time, I can generally, it'll pull together. You just have to have faith in yourself to do that, you know. I have to be able to take the pieces out and put them back in, and every time I take them out and weld them, they warp a little bit and change, and then something slumps, and so what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this a linear movement, mass. It feels like it's coming up, and I may put some more little bronze pieces here, and things are just going every which way, and then I've got to find some way to attach this back section to the front section, and that's what I mean by is it gonna work, you know, or am I gonna really screw it up, you know? And you can see this, it's at this point right here where it just all wants to fall apart and not come together. And that's one of the problems, I think, with the some of the students. They come and they think, oh, I'm going to weld, and you know, I'm going to make these great things, and they realize that it's a lot of work.
Probably should get the grinder out and give it a try.
And just see how it finishes up.
Yeah,
you might want
it before I start.
Yeah, and I would grind this down a little bit before you start. Start doing aluminum, I get aluminum rod.
So whatever metal you're using, that's the rod.
That's the rod. However, you can weld bronze to steel. And it takes a certain amount of technique to have the ability to get all the feelings out that you might get. I like those lines. That makes it really nice. I had a student in this class. She said this one shape she's been thinking about for over 10 years. I said, well, you better do that shape then. I said, it's not going to go away. If it's still there after 10 years, it's going to be there. And there's some shapes that I've had that way too. And what they'll do is they'll block you mentally. And so you might as well do them and get them out of the way. Otherwise, things are not going to progress. People say, how do you get ideas? Well, the more you work, the more ideas you get. I mean, they just pile in, and then you have to decide which idea is worth spending the time on, you know. Sometimes I just sketch too, and I found daydreaming is really important too, to getting these images, you know, just kind of drifting. But sometimes it'll be an image there in the mind that just has to be done, or a thought. And
can you force that to happen?
Oh yeah, that's fun. And I think the more you make art, the easier it is to reach those images. It makes you wonder if you could really tap into that source. Yeah. What would be there, you know? Yeah. What I do now is I keep the initial planning to the minimum in order to extend the creative part. And
so that it'll be spontaneous.
Yeah, that's the fun part. Is the working it out, and I'll lay things on the floor and I'll go by and accidentally kick it and think, oh wow, that's a lot better than what I was doing, you know. So all through for 20 years it's all been this one goal that I've been working towards.
So where do you think you're going?
Well, I don't care. I'm having so much fun that I just want to just keep making art, and that's been my only goal, is just to make art.
I was just inspired. I mean, I think you did a wonderful job, Carolyn, but I just really appreciate your talking about how I spent the last, this is a terrible confession to make, but I've been really struggling with this particular program. And it's very much that process of like working on it, and I completely identified with that piece where you were holding that. It's a wonderful looking piece actually, but I could see that you were fighting with it in the moment.
You've reached that point. Well, it's you know, you keep thinking I've done this so long it's going to get easier, but it never does. It just is always hard. I mean, you're just not going to turn these things out.
Doris Chase is in. She splits her time between Seattle and New York. She just left town. I just finished this piece in the nick of time to show her a rough cut of it the other day. So if we have time, I'll show you. I have some of her reaction to seeing this on the first time. That was a little harrowing because Doris is not only a sculptor, but she's also a videographer, and is credited with among many other things, being the person who really created dance video, and has been doing video for more than 20 years. So it made it. It was hard for me, thinking, this woman knows more about video than I'll ever know.
I've been in the arts all my life. I probably was born with a pencil in my fingers. You know, I just, it's all I know. It's part of every day. and it has been. I studied architecture for a couple of years, but that's also part of it, being an artist, you know. And so perhaps that's one reason much of my work is rather architectural or architectonic and geometric and all those things that it's like building blocks. When I was little, I loved to build with blocks. I always liked to draw. It was part of what I did. And I was fortunate in the fact that I didn't have coloring books. I just had crayons and paper. And so that I was always using my imagination. It seems now that my mind is going like quick cuts in a movie, because so much of it is controlled by what I've seen on the screen, and also because I've been involved in video for more than 20 years now. The newest project now will be involving 6 of my videos that I developed, called, it's the By Herself series. I started back in 82, 83, writing some of the scripts and working with some of the actresses. It was difficult. I never was able to get any funding. I just really just did it by the skin of my teeth. But eventually, European television helped with some, and London and Channel 4 helped me do the piece with Joan Plowright. So I now have the series of 6, and really pleased about that. I'm 70 now.
Just 70?
Just a couple of days ago, yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Yes, I feel so great about being still alive and still working, and absolutely crushed right now with so many projects that are happening. It's so strange. Many things are breaking beautifully, and I can't seem to say no to some of this work because it's so exciting, and I've waited a long time. When you just do what you love, you don't, I guess, even to this day they say, well, did you sell anything? How much did you make? Mm-hmm. And it's somehow I do a lot of lecturing, speaking, and so that helps to carry me through from some of these efforts I have. Occasionally I get a large commission, or I get something sold to television, film, and that helps. But lecturing is so more even, and it kind of gets me through. And I don't need much. I sort of live like a gypsy in a way. Possessions do not possess me. Basically, I'm living in Horizon House, which is a retirement center, and they offered me what I needed. I haven't had a sculpture studio for more than 20 years because in New York I couldn't afford one. And that's why I got into television and film and much more deeply. I'd started here, but back there, when I arrived in 1972, they had heard about my work, they'd seen some of the work, they'd read about it. They were very excited that this person from the West Coast, and the place was Seattle. Let's see, that's near Alaska. I mean, it was before Seattle was sort of on the map. It's a little bit like juggling. You know, you work here and then you work there, and then maybe a new idea for a very large sculpture. So this actually is part of a maquette for a very large piece.
That's what I was going to ask. So it's a model.
Yeah, it's a model.
How large is the final piece?
Well, if and when I finally get the commission for it, it should be like any place between 15 and 20 feet tall, so that this segment would be, say, 8 and 8, approximately that, and part of a group of 4. And this is all done in laminated oak, which is a very hard, tough wood. To make a model, I probably should do it in fir. It's much easier to work, but I figure these models are works of art, and I want them to be permanent, and so that's the way I do them in oak. And I don't know how many years I'll keep at it, because it gets harder.
So tell me what you're doing.
Well, I'm enlarging a maquette for a steel model. In other words, I'm designing another piece. There will be 3 of these that will be in a series, and so at this point I am working on this particular one. I have several that I've developed already. They're painted sort of.
So these have a specific site that they're going into?
That's what the plan is. These will be like 20, 25 feet tall. Okay. So that at this point it's a matter of doubling and then, you know, going to the next scale, and because one makes corrections with each escalation of size.
Yes.
And so right now I'm just trying to do an architectural task here that it would be nice if somebody else were doing it. But it's what I do. Should have brought my sketch with me, because when you're working large pieces, if you think it's always going to be the same, when you get that size, you're wrong. You have to gauge the perspective, not only, you know, of this way, so you know if there's a good balance here, and it's just a matter of needing to test it. And I love what Calder has done, and in a way, this particular series I'm working on right now is sort of linked to how he was working, you know, with the sheet of steel and bending and being able to fabricate it on the site. In other words, if you're working 25 feet tall, you need to be able to dismember it and then put it together again when you get to the site.
There are a lot of other people involved in this process, which we're not going to have a chance to see.
Through the years, I have a group of people who are sort of like collaborators, because they make it possible for me to go and do much larger pieces than I ever could in this, you know, in the situation of just a single.
And over time, you've built up a series of relationships with different people.
Very, very wonderful. It's like a family. The team I have for video, I don't have here, but I have it in New York. And I mean, some of these, well, I call them kids because, you know, it's been 20 years I've been working with some of them. It's a very rich life to have. It's like I have a whole lot of children all over the world, you know, and it's super. I think almost every artist over a period of time feels this childlike innocence and joy in just looking at a little blossom for a flower, or seeing the sunset or the sunrise. There's always that magic that hasn't died in our hearts, and I think it's a matter of love for life, and a love for people and humanity, and a love of what we do. You know, some of it's kind of crazy, but it's well, in truth, it's a spiritual journey. You know, we're all on it, but I think that we who are in the arts maybe are the blessed. We have youth forever. You know, it doesn't stop.
That's it.
Oh, you did a good job.
Do you think it gives a sense of you?
Well, yeah, sort of. Here, you know, in Seattle, which is totally different than New York. Anybody in New York seeing it, I think they would wonder, who's that?
Well, I often wonder if I would have had the self-discipline or the stamina to do 40 or 20 or 40 years ago what I'm doing now. I mean, as you get older, you establish a certain amount of self-discipline and focus that you don't have. Well, I would suspect that there's an interconnected sort of...
It all comes from here anyway.
Yeah, but you must have some sort of thread or connection that links all of those together, don't you think?
I guess maybe you're right. But it's living right. And the thing is, it's this thing of living right in the moment. Not.
I think you hit the nail right in the head
Right in
there,
the moment,
Heleri.
right? I'm right here.
Yeah, living for the moment.
I'm right here existing.
Yeah.
I'm not down there on the paper. I'm not down on the field. I'm right here, wherever I am, right now.
I know, just
Well,
speaking to myself.
That's it. That's our program. Thanks for watching. Join us. We'll be right here working on the next episode. Write us a letter, give us a call, let us know what you think.
Thank you.